How long have you and your family been a part of MISD?
Well, so I was talking about that just a little bit ago. So I've lived in Mansfield my entire life. So I think I started uh, kindergarten in 85 or 86. Yeah, I started here in 40 years ago. So my husband's a couple of years older than me. So I guess if I added him, it's 40 plus years. So my kid, like I said, I have a 21-year-old. So I don't even know what year he started, but we've been here a really long time.
Many people don't know that being a board member is a volunteer position. Outside of that, what are some misconceptions you or other board members run into?
Misconceptions that we run into. So it is a volunteer position. That's kind of one of the things I like about it. I like knowing that we are all here because we care about the district and we care about the students. So it kind of takes the pay out of it, kind of takes all of that out of the equation. So that is one of the things that I do love about this position. One of the misconceptions I think is that people think that we control a lot more of what we actually control. So we put policies into place, but we don't really handle the day-to-day operations. So we hand those over to the superintendent, who then hands them kind of down her line. And so people think that we are making decisions on a daily basis, and really that's not the case. Like, for instance, when school was called off last week for the weather, they let us know that they are, but that's not a decision that we make. So I'm getting phone calls sometimes from my kids' friends like, "Hey, can you call off school?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't really do that."
Not my job.
So yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest misconception is people think that we control a lot of the day-to-day operations, and that's just not something that we do. So
How has your background and experience shaped your approach to leadership and decision making on the board?
my background really in leadership started several years ago. Like I said, we've been self-employed for a long time, so I've had to run several different companies. I still do to this day. So I've worked with a lot of different types of people. Pouring into those people really helps my leadership skills and the ability to be able to work with people that have different ideas or bring different things to the table. Also, just working on boards. When my kids were younger, PTA boards. I've worked on several boards throughout the community, and so just working with a big array of different types of people I feel like that's helped shaped the leader that I am, and then will continue to be.
So being at the position you're at a very high position. So I know you're doing a lot for a lot of community and for the school. So we want to know, what is the most difficult part of your position?
So I would say the most difficult part is knowing that the decisions that we make are going to impact over 35,000 students, no matter what we decide. There's always going to be people that are thrilled with what we do, and then there's going to always be a few people that aren't thrilled with what we do. And so just knowing that it's important to take everything into consideration before we make a decision, because it impacts every single one of you sitting in here, along with the other 35,000 students. And then it also affects the staff members and your family. And so that weighs pretty heavy on us when we're making a big decision. We really have to take that into consideration.
What inspires you to become a school board leader, and what keeps you motivated in this role?
Well, I'll answer the second part first. You guys are the ones that keep me motivated. So anytime that I'm just like, oh, you have those days where you're just like beat down. If I step on a campus, it just like rejuvenates me, and it reminds me why I do some of the hard work. So what inspired me was really just being in this district for a long time. I was serving in different capacities as my kids were growing up. And so it was kind of just the opportunity had presented itself. And I felt like it was just kind of the next step. The timing worked out really well for me. And so I figured, why would I not give it a shot? And so that's what it was, just being familiar with the district, being here for a long time, and looking for the next opportunity to serve.
Being that you are volunteering on a big level and it is a time commitment, what do you do in your free time?
So I do have a full-time job too. So that's one thing that I do. But one thing a lot of people don't know about me is I coach CrossFit. So I coach at 5 and 6 a.m. in the morning. So I wake up. That's kind of like my fun job.
Fun.
It is. I know. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. And so I'm passionate just about exercise. I love trail running. So typically on the weekends I go out. There's on the other side of Joe Pool Lake. It's called Cedar Ridge Preserve. Some of y'all probably been out there. So I go run out there. I like to be active. I like to be outside. And so stuff like that is really what I do in my free time. I enjoy reading. So do that as well. But that's about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of free time, but
Yeah, I can imagine.
that's what I do for fun.
How do you balance the needs of students, teachers, and the community when making decisions?
So one thing that we always look at, so in our Vision 30 statement, one of our values is students first. And so every decision we make, our first priority is our students. So how is this going to impact students? What's the, how is this going to be, are there going to be any unintended consequences to it? And so students first is always our first priority, is how it's going to impact you guys. And then of course we take into consideration staff and community, but we always look at how it's going to impact students first. I mean, that's every decision we make. That's our first thing that we look at.
On that note, what is your vision for the future of the education in our district?
So my vision is that we just continue to be innovative. We've got our core curriculum classes, and I feel like we prepare our students really well for college, but there's a large group of students that don't necessarily want to take that route anymore. And so hoping to be able to expand opportunities at Ben Barber, where students can continue to get certifications and be ready to go directly into the workforce, or even if you want to go to college, still have some of those skills that will set you apart, even when you're working on your degree, to be able to go into whatever you want to do, even outside of college. But just being innovative, staying in front of what we think is going to be coming down the pipeline as far as what job opportunities are going to be hot. And I mean, I don't even know how they keep up with things over there, because it's just like you're planning. You have to be able to implement a program over there. It takes years, and so by the time it's even implemented, is it even relevant anymore? And so the work that goes into trying to stay innovative it's pretty incredible. But that's where I just see education is just trying to stay at the forefront of innovation.
So what do you think, what do you see as the most pressing challenge facing our schools today?
So I'd say right now, and this I feel like a lot of this changes. I'd say funding for education right now is probably the biggest thing. You guys may not know it, but there's a basic allotment that is given for every student that we have enrolled. That has not changed since, I think it's 2019. So we're looking at 6 years. It has stayed, the basic allotment has stayed stagnant. And so we're really pressing our representatives at the state level to try to increase that basic allotment. And really, the main reason is as you guys probably know, inflation has gone up quite a bit in the last 6 years. So we're still having to, the cost of everything has gone up. So that doesn't change for school districts. I mean, the cost of everything that we do to run this district has increased, and so we're having to work with the same amount of money in the cost of everything. So right now, I think if we can get the funding increased this next legislative session.
My question is, how do you ensure that diverse perspectives are represented in your decision making?
So what I love about the school board is there's 7 of us, and we all are very different. We're all very passionate. We all bring something different to the table. We all love what we do. We love the students. I believe we're all here for the same reason. We want what's best for each and every one of you guys. And so what's cool about the school board is that all 7 of us weigh in on what we think is right, what direction we think we should go. And then we have to make a decision as a whole. So no one of us has any more say so than the other. When we vote on things, each vote holds the same amount of weight as the people that I'm working with. And so really just making sure that everyone's voices are heard. And then at the end of the day, whatever we decide, whether it's something that I agree with or not, we have an understanding that we're moving forward as a board and backing that. So that's what we do. Yeah. And I feel like we do that really well. We don't always agree on everything. We agree on most things. But even if we don't, we're able to, get together and move forward with it and implement what we think is best for you guys. So.